It's midnight on an empty Italian highway. A lone set of headlights cuts through the darkness. You hear it before you see it. A deep, throaty growl. Not the digital hum of an EV, not the shriek of a Turbo 4, but something primal, something impossible. And then it bursts into view. A long, low fastback with the kind of hips you only see in vintage car posters, and a badge you thought you'd never see on a diesel-powered muscle sedan. Fiat 132, 2026 edition. The internet said diesel was dead. Fiat says, not yet. This isn't the kind of car that sips fuel and blends into traffic. It's a middle finger to the quiet, sanitized future everyone told us was inevitable, and a love letter to an era when cars made noise, made torque, and made you feel something. But here's the twist. There's one major flaw, one that could either be its Achilles heel or the thing that makes it a cult classic. We're going to break it all down. Design, performance, the surprising numbers, and yes, the flaw. So hit that subscribe button, because around here, we don't just review cars. We pull the whole story out of the engine bay. From the outside, the 2026 Fiat 132 is unapologetically retro, a deliberate callback to the 70s original, but with a sharper jawline and modern proportions. The hood stretches long and low, leading into a wide, squared-off grille wrapped in brushed aluminum. Twin round LED headlights sit like glowing sentinels, each ringed with a halo that nods to vintage rally cars. The side profile? Pure muscle sedan. Deep shoulder lines, flared rear arches, and a stance that looks coiled, ready to pounce. Even the paint choices feel like a statement. Burnt copper, deep navy, and a metallic gunmetal that looks wet under streetlights. Around back, a thin, uninterrupted LED strip spans the tail, with 132 stamped boldly between quad exhaust tips. It doesn't just look good parked. It looks fast, standing still. Step inside and it's an unexpected mix. The nostalgia is there in the chrome ring dials and stitched leather door cards, but the tech is unapologetically 2026. The driver's seat? Deep bolstered Napa leather, perforated for breathability, hugging you like a racing bucket. Ambient lighting runs under the dash, and door panels in a subtle amber glow, evoking warm filament bulbs. Front and center is a 12.8-inch curved OLED display, seamlessly integrated, not slapped on like an afterthought. Wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and Fiat's own Modena Connect OS come standard. The sound system? A 16-speaker Bowers & Wilkins setup, tuned specifically for the cabin acoustics. Yes, that includes piping just enough engine note into the mix when you open it up. The rear seats? Surprisingly generous legroom. Enough for 2 full-sized adults, or 1 guitarist with his amp on the way to a gig. Under the hood, the shocker. A 3.0-liter twin-turbo diesel inline-6, cranking out 335 horsepower, and an earth-moving 590 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60, 5.1 seconds. Quicker than a lot of gas-powered muscle sedans, thanks to all that low-end pull. Rear-wheel drive is standard, with an optional all-wheel drive system for those who plan to drive it year-round. Steering is sharp, with an electronically assisted rack, tuned to feel heavy at speed and light in tight urban corners. Here's where diesel still punches back. 38 miles per gallon on the highway, 29 in the city. That's not hybrid territory, but it's a revelation for something this quick and this muscular. And with a 17.5-gallon tank, you're looking at nearly 600 miles between fill-ups. Overall length, just over 191 inches, short enough for city maneuvering, long enough for a commanding road presence. Trunk space is 16.2 cubic feet, meaning your weekend road trip doesn't require creative packing. And the seating position? A perfect blend of low-slung sportiness and grand touring comfort. Safety and warranty. On the safety front, the Fiat 132 nails the Euro NCAP 5-star rating. Standard kit includes adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, blind spot monitoring, and a 360-degree camera system. Warranty: 4 years, 50,000 miles, bumper to bumper, with 6 years, 70,000 miles on the powertrain. All right, the flaw. This engine is a masterpiece of torque and longevity, but it comes with a price: weight. At just over 4,100 pounds, the Fiat 132 isn't light on its feet. In tight canyon runs, you feel the mass when hustling through back-to-back corners. It's not a sports sedan in the razor-edge sense. It's a bruiser, a highway devourer. For some, that's the dream. For others, it might be the deal-breaker. Biggest competitor and market future. Biggest competitor and market future. The clearest rival, the BMW 530d, another diesel-powered luxury sports sedan, but one that plays it safer with design and slightly better cornering agility. The Fiat fights back with bolder styling, a more emotive exhaust note, and a price starting around $49,000, undercutting the BMW by nearly 10 grand. But here's the real wild card. Diesel's days are numbered. With stricter emissions rules on the horizon, this car may be one of the last new diesel sedans we'll ever see in major markets, which means it could age into something rare, even collectible, if Fiat plays its cards right. Closing and call to action. So, a retro-inspired, torque-rich diesel muscle sedan in 2026. The Fiat 132 feels like a time traveler, one foot planted in the golden age of driving, the other kicking hard against the tide of quiet, sanitized transport. The weight might make the purists hesitate, but for everyone else, it's a machine that makes you grin at idle, cruise all day without stopping, and look back every time you park. But what do you think? Is Fiat's gamble on diesel genius, or a last hurrah for a dying breed? Drop your answer in the comments. Hit that like button if you felt a twinge of nostalgia just hearing it. And subscribe, because next week we're driving the one car they say could end the muscle sedan forever. And trust me, you're gonna want to hear it.